What is the best trainer for me? Now that's a question that I see over and over in the comments on various videos on this channel. I've been seeing that all of this year because I've been making an emphasis to cover as many daily trainers as I can this year, because it turns out 2024 is going to be the year of the daily trainer in running shoes, because we're getting some excellent daily trainers this year. So in this video, I thought I'd sit down and I'd answer the most common ones that I see come up over and over, and hopefully there's something in this video to help everyone. Couple things before I jump in. I've made a bunch of videos around daily trainers this year, and one of the first ones I made at the beginning of the year was a video called Max versus Low, which is a video that explores the differences between a max cushion trainer and a low cushion trainer, or a low stack trainer, and why you may want to actually have both. So I'll put a link in the description. I would recommend to go check that video out. Additionally, more recently, about a month and a half ago, I made another video about how to build a running shoe rotation. And I start from a brand new runner buying their first pair of trainers, and then how do you build that into a full running shoe rotation that will allow you to really race any kind of distance. So I'd also recommend going to check that video out, because you can see how you can build a rotation from a very simple trainer. There's also some recommendations in that video about shoes to buy, which you'll see repeated in this video as well. This video is being recorded at the beginning of July of 2024, which puts us over the halfway point in the year. Now, the bulk of the primary daily trainers that I think we've all been waiting for, at least that I've been waiting for, have now come out this year. There'll be a couple more that will come out towards the end of the year, and they may, be added to this list. But the 6 best daily trainers that I'm going to be focusing on in this video are as follows: the Adidas Adizero SL2, the Nike Pegasus 41, the Adidas Supernova Rise, the Asics Nova Blast 4, the Brooks Ghost Max, and the Puma Velocity Nitro 3. Now, I've run in other trainers than these 6. These are just the 6 best that I've run in this year. Now, I will put links in the descriptions to a few other videos about some of the trainers that are not here, like the Gel Nimbus 26 from Asics, the Nike Vomero 17, the Hoka Mach 6. I think those are videos that you should go check out if you're interested in those shoes. I'll put a section in the description specifically for those shoes. Other shoes that are not here are shoes that I've just not run in, like the Saucony Ride 17 or the Saucony Triumph 22, both of which are extremely rare here in Taiwan. Saucony doesn't have a really good presence here. And then another shoe I think a lot of people will be looking for is the New Balance Rebel V4, which was a hard no for me. And I've talked a lot about this in other videos on this channel, but that will not be one that I'll be covering in this video, because I don't think it's a very good shoe. I think there's a better performance trainer option. Now, this video isn't a best of first half of the year for daily trainers for me. I will do my best of content in December around the holidays, so subscribe if you want to see that. You'll see it pop up in your feed in about 5 months. And until then, there'll be plenty of other content. But again, I think the bulk of the really exciting daily trainers have now come out in the first half of the year. There may be 1 or 2 that will come out in the later half of the year, which, when I do my best of daily trainers content in December, may impact this list. But I think it's been a great year for trainers, and I think it's really exciting to sit down and finally talk about what are the best trainers for certain situations. The first question that I see over and over is, I'm a newer runner and I want to buy my first pair of real running shoes. What do you recommend? So the assumption there is this is someone who's maybe been jogging in whatever athletic shoes or sneakers they have around, and they're looking to buy their first pair of quality running shoes. What do I recommend? Well, there's 2 shoes that really come to mind for this. And the first one is the Nike Pegasus 41. And that's because that's what this shoe's designed for. This is the everybody running shoe, from beginner runner through advanced runner and really everything in between. Now, the assumption with a newer runner who's just learning how to run, taking their first steps in running, is that they don't have good form. So they're probably heel striking, they're probably overstriding, which means something like the Pegasus with its structured and supportive heel is going to protect the foot, channel that energy, capture the foot, and help transition you into the forefoot of this shoe. Now, this is a lower stack shoe, and you're going to have a lot of ground feel in the shoe, which initially is going to feel like there's not enough cushion. But what that's going to teach you as a new runner is how to engage your forefoot. And one of the biggest things that you need to learn as a new runner is better running form, to really understand how your foot is landing and transitioning off the toe. And this is a great tool to learn that stuff. So my first recommendation for a first-time running shoe would be the Nike Pegasus 41. And the second shoe I'd recommend for a first-time trainer would be the Puma Velocity Nitro 3. Now, this does everything I just talked about with the Nike Pegasus 41, but there's a little bit firmer cushioning in the shoe. You have a little bit more cushioning in the shoe. And for really any kind of foot strike, heel strike, mid-foot strike, or forefoot strike, this shoe is going to be very protective. You're getting a great foam, you're getting a great upper, and overall, this is just a very versatile shoe that you can also usually find on sale and at a really good price. So you're getting a ton of value for what you're actually going to pay for this shoe, which makes it a great option for a first-time runner. Now, I will say this shoe tends to be very narrow for a lot of runners. So if you do have a wider foot, look for the wide version of this shoe, but this is an excellent option for a new runner. The second question that I see quite frequently is that I'm a heavier runner. What's going to be the best trainer for me? Now, I'm going to define a heavier runner here. That's any runner over 200 pounds or 90 kilos. And I'm going to say that modern running shoes are generally not built for a runner that's putting that much force into the ground. However, I do think there's a few good options out there. And one of the best is this, the Brooks Ghost Max. I have been very impressed with just the stability of this shoe, and the foam that's in this shoe, the DNA Lock V2, I think is exceptional. Now, this is a shoe that should withstand all of the force that you can put into the ground as a heavier runner. It's going to support you, it's a wide platform, and it's going to be quite comfortable. And it should withstand, at least for a couple 100 miles, all of that energy that you're actually putting into the shoe. Something I need to mention about the Ghost Max is there is a Ghost Max 2 that is coming out in July of 2024, the month this video is being recorded. And that shoe is going to continue the same recommendation. It's going to be a slightly upgraded midsole foam, a little bit more comfortable and generous upper, and it should do everything this shoe does. So either the Ghost Max or the Ghost Max 2 are going to be a great option for you. And the other really good option for a heavier runner is this shoe, the Asics Gel Nimbus 26. Now, I don't have this shoe anymore. I actually donated my pair because it's not the type of shoe I want to run in. But for a bigger, heavier runner, it is an ideal choice as well because it's a lot of shoe, it's a lot of foam. It's going to stand up to, again, all the forces you can put in the ground. And it's going to, work very well for you because it's very supportive, very cushioned, and you'll enjoy that shoe definitely, and it's going to be a good option for walking and running for a heavier runner as well. Another question I see quite frequently is, I have a mild pronation, but I like neutral daily trainers. What would you recommend? Well, if you have very mild pronation, I would say forget that this shoe exists. The Adizero SL2 does not exist for you because this is going to take your mild pronation and turn it into overpronation. This is not the shoe you want. Instead, the shoe that you want, I think, is the Nike Pegasus 41 because there's a lot of medial support in the shoe and it's going to really capture that mild pronation, center your foot, and get you off the toe. This is an excellent shoe for mild pronators. But another option that I think is actually quite good would be this, the Asics Novablast 4. Mostly because this is such a wide platform. You can see the outriggers in the forefoot, in the heel. There's a ton of foam around the heel. This is really going to channel those kind of mild pronation forces. Again, center your foot and get your toe off. This is a softer, more cushioned option than the Pegasus, but I think it's going to work just as well for someone who has very mild pronation. And one little note about pronation, if you're an overpronator, you probably want to avoid a neutral daily trainer. I am a neutral runner. I don't need stability shoes, but if you really are overpronating, you probably need a stability shoe. So look at stability options from whatever brand you're interested in. Another question I see quite frequently is that I'm a runner who needs a custom insole or an orthotic to comfortably run in a daily trainer. What do you recommend? Well, there's one obvious answer in my top 6, and that's the Brooks Ghost Max. But it's not even really the Ghost Max. It's really any Brooks running shoe because generally Brooks trainers are designed around putting in a custom insole or orthotic in their shoe. Their footbeds are designed to accommodate very high volume insoles or orthotics. The uppers generally also have enough volume to be able to put in a high volume custom insole or orthotic. So the Brooks Ghost Max is going to be my best recommendation, but really any Brooks training shoe is going to allow you to put your custom insole or orthotic in there to comfortably run in it. But this is a great option for that. But my second option, if you need a custom insole or orthotic, would be this, the Nike Pegasus 41. Now, this is going to be my recommendation if you have a very low volume custom insole or a very low volume orthotic, because there isn't as much room in this upper as there is in the Brooks Ghost Max. So if you have a mid to higher volume custom insole or orthotic, I would recommend going up half a size, maybe a full size in this shoe to give you enough volume in the upper, especially in the toe box, to be able to put your custom insole or orthotic. But this is also a great option for runners who need custom insoles or orthotics. Another question that I see quite frequently is, I want to build a rotation around a performance trainer. What performance trainer do you recommend me to start with to build my rotation to race whatever road racing distance? Well, the first question I'm going to ask you is, what do you plan on actually racing in? If you're going to be racing in something like an Adios Pro 3, a Takumi Sen 10, either one of the Asics Metaspeeds, or say the Saucony Endorphin Elite or Elite 2, I would recommend this, the Adidas Adizero SL2. This is going to be your best performance trainer to build a rotation to race in those shoes, because it's going to have a very similar forefoot, very cushioned forefoot feel and toe off from those shoes. However, if you are someone who's racing in Nike shoes like a Vaporfly or an ELFL, I'm going to recommend the Peg 41. But more specifically, if you're racing in the Vaporfly, it's a no-brainer that you're training in a Pegasus. That's been my world for years. If you're racing in an ELFL 3, though, I think this is also a very good option, especially with the 41, because the heel feel in the shoe is very similar to the ELFL. But you may want to check out the Vomero 17 as well, because that is going to be a more cushioned, softer option that's going to feel much more close to the ELFL 3. Another question that I'm actually seeing a lot more recently is, I'm a runner who's only been running in max cushion trainers. I want to transition to running in lower stack trainers. What do you recommend? Well, first of all, I find that question very interesting because the max cushion trainer has been the norm over the past 2 years for running. And I do see a lot more runners asking, how do they transition to lower stack shoes? Well, the best option that I think that's out there right now is this, the Adidas Adizero SL2. This is a shoe that I would call a mid cushion. It's not low stack, but it's definitely not max cushion or high stack either. But it runs with a lot more cushion in this shoe, especially in the forefoot. So it's going to feel very familiar if you're used to running in a max cushion shoe. This is going to be a good shoe that's going to still feel comfortable, but it's going to allow your foot to adjust to running in a lower stack shoe. Because if you go straight to a shoe like this, the Nike Pegasus 41, where you're basically very close to the ground, it's going to be too much too soon, and it's not going to work out very well for you. You're not going to be happy. Now, another shoe I'd recommend for this scenario would be this, the Adidas Supernova Rise. Now, this is a very plush, very cushioned shoe, but it's also very low stack in the forefoot, surprisingly low stack. But the thing I'm going to say about this shoe is, if you're coming from a max cushion trainer, this shoe is going to feel just as plush, so it's going to give you that familiar cushion. However, you're going to be able to feel the ground again. You're going to be able to feel how your foot's transitioning off the toe, and you're going to get the best of both worlds. This might not even be a transition shoe for you. This just may be the lower stack shoe that you're probably going to be running in as a daily trainer, because it's excellent for that use case. Another question that I'm seeing actually quite frequently lately is, I'm looking for a cushion trainer for long, slow running. Now, there is a great option out there, and that is the Adidas Supernova Rise. This shoe is by far the best cushion trainer of the year for me. It is surprisingly excellent at anything for long, slow, easy running. And what's really surprising about this shoe is, again, the lower stack in this shoe, but it's still a very plush, very cushioned feel. Now, I have over 200 miles in this pair of Supernova Rises, and if I needed to go do a 30 or 32K or 20 mile run, tomorrow, I would have no hesitation to take this shoe out with 200 miles already in it, because the foam in the shoe has been very consistent over those 200 miles. And I would fully expect at least another 100 to 200 miles out of the shoe, again, being very plush and very consistent. But the other option that I'd recommend for a cushion trainer in 2024 would be this, the Asics Novablast 4. This is an excellent shoe for cushioned, easy running. There's more rocker in the shoe, so it's going to roll you forward. This is just one of the most comfortable, cushioned shoes for easy running and a little tempo and maybe a little threshold running that I've seen out there all year. So this is another excellent option for a cushioned trainer for long, slow running. And finally, a question that I see actually come up a lot in my videos, not just about trainers, is I'm a walker who occasionally runs, but I'm looking for a shoe that's mostly for walking, but that I can jog in occasionally. Now, the best shoe for that would be the Nike Pegasus 41. Because again, for casual use, just for walking, this is an excellent shoe. Again, walking is a natural heel to toe motion, and this shoe with the foam in the heel, the 10 mil drop, everything about this shoe is just excellent for walking. This is definitely one of those shoes that if I'm going on a trip, I'm going to throw in my bag because I know I can wear it casually and I can go out and do whatever run I need to do. So this would be my first option for mostly a walking shoe, but one you can occasionally jog in, whether it's outdoors or at the gym. The next option would be the Brooks Ghost Max. This is a insanely comfortable shoe, especially for walking. The heel to toe in this and the way this rolls forward and the rocker in the forefoot, this is just an excellent, cushioned, nice platform that's very wide, very stable, excellent walking shoe. And it's definitely a shoe that you can go out and jog in, again, whether it's outdoors or on a treadmill in the gym. Excellent choice. There we go. Those are the answers to the common questions I see about what is the best trainer for me in the comments for my videos all this year. Now, if I didn't get to your specific question or use case, ask me in the comments below. I'll reply with whatever information that I possibly can. Now, the 6 shoes that I featured in this video are shoes that I will be spending a lot more time in this year. I've already spent a lot of time in a few of them so far this year. So that when I get to year end and I do my best of content, and I'm going to do a best of daily trainers video this year as well, I will definitely have a lot of time in all these shoes, and the ranking that I put them in, I will feel very confident in. So again, stay tuned if you're interested in that around year end. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you find this content useful, consider subscribing. You'll see more content from me pop up in your feed. If not, drop a like on this video because it helps this channel continue to grow, which I always appreciate. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.